Good morning. My name is Xylopiano, and today we are discussing why we need a non-Christian minimalism and how to go about decluttering Christianity. Decluttering Christianity from your whole life is what I meant to say. I don't want you thinking that we're trying to fix Christianity by decluttering something within it. No, we are removing Christianity from minimalism. Anyways. Please like and subscribe for more cozy leftist politics. For accessibility, I'll be reading out loud the alt text for the images used in this slideshow. Please enjoy and know you're not missing out, my blind or low vision listeners. The minimalist creators on YouTube that I follow have not deconstructed from Christianity. I hear them mention tips for minimalist Christmas and the holidays without mentioning whose holidays. Here we have a stock image of question mark clouds. When you don't mention whose holidays, you run the risk of recentering Christianity and re-establishing white Christianity as the baseline, which is white supremacist. Yuck. This slide has a cautionary exclamation point. Because Christianity is a religion imported by colonizers and practiced upon stolen and exploited land, we on Turtle Island should seek to deconstruct ourselves from it. Here is an image of the continent superimposed on the back of a giant turtle with the text, "The Legend of Turtle Island," which you can read about from Relentless Indigenous Woman's Facebook post, which is where I got this image. So here is my first minimalist video. That is also so far the only minimalist video I've found that also explicitly rejects Christianity. In my videos, you can expect minimalist content that declutters Christianity. Yes, I did use AI to generate this image of a Bible in the trash, lol. I couldn't find a good free image to use online, and I already threw out most Bibles in my house and in my town's little free libraries, so I actually didn't have a way to throw away another Bible, although you know I would have done so again with much pleasure. Part 1. Why should we all deconstruct from Christianity? Christians I know never mention or seek to rectify their religion's role in genocide of Native peoples. For example, I've never heard a sermon or Bible verse cited that describes the horrors of Native boarding schools. Here we see a lovely picture of a confused Catholic priest throwing his hands up, lol. "Kill the Indian, save the man" was the motto for these horrific places where Native children were kidnapped from their families and forced to attend. These children were forced to assimilate to Christianity and beaten for speaking their native language or practicing their native religions. Nope, not a single sermon has ever mentioned this, apologized, or paid reparations for their religion's evil actions. Here we see an image of Native children kneeling in a prayer position at the foot of their beds, all in neat rows. Barf. I already said this before, but another reason we all need to deconstruct from Christianity is that Christians benefit from ongoing genocides of Native peoples. For example, they get to build their churches on stolen land and receive tax benefits, etc. Here we have an image of Land Back, painted on a crumbling, abandoned church located on Oregon's Warm Springs Indian Reservation, taken in June 25 of 2022. Part 2. Why minimalism needs non-Christian content creators. Minimalism is lovely. As a movement, it tends to be anti-consumerist, vegan, and eco-friendly. Vera from Simple Happy Zen and Grace Nevitt are the two creators I have experience with. Here's an image of the creators I mentioned, Vera's channel, Simple Happy Zen, and Grace Nevitt's channel, that is the same as her name. Vera and Grace emphasize self-care and self-love, and Vera especially has helped me declutter so many things that used to weigh on my heart and soul, and she makes me feel less alone because she is also vegan and sober. This is the same image as the last slide, except now Vera's channel has a green vegan heart attached, and Grace's channel has a red heart attached. However, both Vera and Grace's videos casually mention winter holidays that are subtly coded as Christian/Abrahamic. The image shows Vera's and Grace's YouTube channels again, this time with a thinking emoji. For example, Vera mentions decluttering her Christmas tree in multiple videos on her YouTube channel, but subtly hints that she will still be celebrating Christmas. For example, at timestamp 2243 in her video 20 Surprising Things I Decluttered Without Regret and You Can Too, Vera mentions having no decorations simplifies the holidays for her, and I do enjoy the holidays. Pictured is an image of Vera's video. Similarly, Grace mentions making gifts for the holidays in this video, how anti-consumerism is actually deeply reliant on radical self-acceptance, Bestie Chats episode 8. Grace doesn't say which holidays, but I always give side-eye to ritual gift exchange in wintertime as possibly linked to Abrahamic religions like Christianity or Judaism. Pictured is an image of Grace's video. I have always felt really icky whenever Christianity/Abrahamic content sneaks its way into minimalist creators, who I would otherwise totally vibe with. Sneaky Christianity/Abrahamic content is all too common, and it can make a YouTube channel feel unsafe. I am craving vibes that are still self-love and minimalist, but are more intentional about moving away from religions that perpetuate systemic harm and abuse. This slide has a cautionary exclamation point. Part 3. Non-Christian minimalism in practice. Step 1. Dump those Christian holidays. I've decluttered as much Christianity from my life as humanly possible. For example, I've removed all crosses, rosaries, and Bibles from my personal spaces, and I've decluttered lots of Bibles and Books of Mormon from most Little Free libraries in my town. Here's an image of the Little Free pantry in my area that has subtle Christianity all over it. It's the only Little Free pantry we have, so that means it has food instead of books. And this just goes to show you how Christianity sneaks its way into everything. I don't celebrate Easter, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. Thanksgiving is the worst because it's always lying about good relations between European colonizers and natives. Here's a picture of a sarcastic meme of Europeans and natives shaking hands with text that says, "Thanks, ... for your land." Blech. Trigger warning, the next 2 slides and the bottom half of my screen right now, and the next 1 to 2 minutes contain depictions of violence, graphic imagery, and kidnapping of indigenous peoples. Please skip ahead to avoid this section if you don't want to engage. So in reality, Thanksgiving was never about equality and sharing. Colonizers tortured and abused natives regularly for their own gain, often with encouragement from U.S. lawmakers. Think about the bounty put out for native scalps. This image is censored, but it's an ugly European man holding a scalp with text that says, "And the king our master will reward you." Also, I just learned recently that Pocahontas was not a fully grown woman consenting to a relationship with John Smith. She was an underage teenage girl who was kidnapped and coerced, and likely raped by John Smith. Pocahontas was a missing or murdered indigenous woman and girl, or MMIWG. The image shows an up-close image of Disney's Pocahontas with the signature MMIWG red paint hand mark obscuring her eyes, nose, and mouth, with yellow text at the bottom saying Pocahontas is a missing and murdered indigenous woman and girl. This artwork was created by Meera Baswan. Thanksgiving sucks. Next. Easter and Christmas are icky because they are uncritical of their role in ongoing suppression of religious diversity. Think about the huge, disgusting aisles of merchandise devoted to these holidays. Whereas I've never seen a Black History Month aisle in any store ever. This image is an ugly aisle of Easter merchandise at Walmart, like candied eggs, chocolate bunnies, colorful baskets, plastic eggs. Blech! Step 2. Alternatives. Let's celebrate with liberation, dignity, and collective accountability. Andrewism, the YouTube channel, check it out, has an amazing video called It's Time to Rethink Religion that shares many of the criticisms of Christianity and Abrahamic religions that I've mentioned here. Also, Andrewism suggests an alternative for our celebratory energy. Drawing from the idea of Atheopaganism based on a book by Mark A. Green, Andrewism dreams up a solar punk religion and holiday that deconstructs from Christianity and Abrahamic hegemonies. The holidays he mentions not only align with non-Christian minimalism, but also align with the seasons. The image here shows the thumbnail of Andrewism's video, which has leftist/anarchist protesters in the background and the thinker statue in the foreground. High spring, May Day, summer solstice, harvest, death remembrance, and winter solstice stood out to me, but you should definitely go watch Andrewism's video for more details about each of these holidays, what they celebrate, and how. You're in for a treat, and the link to his video is in the description. I liked Atheopaganism's holidays because they are super witchy, homesteady, and astrological, and could be anti-colonial. The slide that I'm on now has an image of Andrewism's channel logo, which is a black man's cartoon face in a yellow circle, and it also has the logo for Atheopaganism, a green tree silhouetted against a yellow and white sun, also in a circle. In conclusion, I hope this video inspired you to declutter Christianity from your life. Minimalism is great, but not if it stays silent on systemic oppression. Here's an image of a stock cartoon of a megaphone sounding off. Please share this video, like and subscribe, and comment below if you know about non-Christian minimalists that I've left out of the discussion. I'm disappointed that my minimalist citations are woefully short and dominated by white middle-class women. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. F*** ICE, free Palestine, and sending you lefty lovies lots of love tonight. Ta-ta! And here's a nice image of 4 differently sketched hearts to leave you off with. Peace.